Welcome to Dec.24 for December 24th. Our prompt today is photo frame and steampunk butterfly. So here I have pulled out some items I thought I wanted to use. So I'm just cutting down this piece of confetti cardstock to the size of where I want to put it in my journal. And I wanted to layer on some tea bags to add a little bit of dimension and to make it a little more grungy. So I just used glue stick for this today. I thought it would serve the purpose of what I needed, so I just used glue stick and I glued the two tea bags down onto the page. My element today is basically just a decorative page. It's not like a pocket or a tuck or a journaling card or anything. It's just basically a decorative page. So once that was done, fixing up a little spots here where I needed more glue, I decided to figure out where I wanted my, my frame placement. So here I'm using a freebie frame from last year's Dec.24 from Barbara at 49 Dragonflies. So these are a couple of her frames from her Ko-fi site last year. And I'm trying to figure out where I want to put these butterflies. Now in the end, I do glue it down a tiny bit different, but I'm just getting a feel for it here. So these butterflies were from like the dollar store, so they were a little too shiny for me. And I did want to grunge them up a bit and make them look a little more, I don't know, distressed and mechanical. So I used some sandpaper just to rough up the edges and get some of the gloss off the top of the butterfly. I then went in with my rusty hinge and I just inked it up, trying to maybe catch some of those scratch marks in the butterfly. And I did that for both. So here I'm just taking my Distress Oxide re-inker and being very brave, and just putting it directly onto the butterfly with some water. I do like how it looked right here, and I kind of wish I would have left it like that. But anyway, I do like how it turned out in the end. So I set them aside to dry, and then I brought in my frames because I wanted to distress them a little bit too, make them look a little more grungy. This page, I was going for a pretty grunge page, so I'm sanding up the edges of that frame there too, just to catch the ink a little better when I do go to re-ink the edges. And in this little dropper, I have some of the Distress Oxide re-inker mixed with water. So I was just playing around with the ink and putting it on the frame and the butterflies to see the result that I would get. So here I am now bringing in a border punch. I wanted to have a punched edge on the bottom and the top of this page. So I am using this punch from Stampin' Up. And I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of it. I do think it is retired as well. But any border punch would do. And then I'm taking just some of my lined numbered stamps here, and I'm just creating a background using some, I believe that is, let me look here, Ground Espresso ink. And it's an oxide ink as well. So on this page, I'm just layering up stamping now. I'm bringing in some of the Tim Holtz stamps, just adding like a collage of stamps in the background, using Rusty Hinge, Ground Espresso, black ink, and Vintage Photo as well. And I have these dot stamps too that I am using, and here I'm adding some numbers now from the Tim Holtz set in black ink. And I am using Stays On ink here. Just in case I get it wet or anything, it won't run, because I wasn't really sure what my next step was going to be. So here I go to add some black splatters, and they're more like blobs, not so much splatters. So I wasn't too thrilled with how that turned out, but in the end it wasn't so bad. So here I thought, well, I'll try to add some watered down white paint splatters, but because I don't know why the tea bag, it absorbed the white, so it didn't really show up. It absorbed into the tea bag and then it disappeared. So I leave that for now. I dry everything with my heat tool just to see how it's going to look once it's dry. And then I go back to placement. So I really do like how the frames turned out. I did cut that little flower that was in the frame, the oval frame, off. That was kind of into the center of the frame. And here I'm just playing with placement now. So once I kind of figured out, I had pulled out some paper beads. You'll see it on the top there that I had made as the bodies. But then I kind of was like, I didn't really like that. To me, it didn't look very mechanical. So I had this little prescription bottle full of bits and bobs that I had pulled out of a antique sewing box that I had bought. So I thought, well, I'll keep them. You never know when you're going to need them. So here I thought these little hooks with the eye hooks, I think like for a skirt or whatever, look like little butterfly heads. So I decided on that. And then I pulled out some thread and I used two rusted safety pins as the rest of the body for my two butterflies. So here I wanted to place some black thread just to add a little more of a body or some texture and dimension under the butterfly. And then I pull in some white thread as well. So as you see, you really don't even see much of the background page that I did, but I still like it. And it did cover up a lot of that black, so that made me happy too. I don't mind it in the end. So now I'm bringing out some of my metal gears. I wanted to put them on the butterflies to give that mechanical feel. And I use small ones and large ones. I'm trying not to use anything too bright. I'm trying to keep with the grungy effect of this page. I do have some like bright gold ones and bright silver ones, but to me they didn't go with the aesthetics of this page. So once I kind of figure out where I want my gears to go, I do believe I start gluing things down, which was fun. Oh, here I'm just picking a sentiment out as well, so I can kind of get a visual of where I want to put it. And I'm re-inking the edges of the butterfly with the rusty hinge, just to make it stand out a little bit more against the background. And I do this with all of the frames and the other butterfly as well. So here I'm bringing in my glue and I'm just slowly gluing down my butterflies where I want them to be. I should have took a picture before I started gluing because I did end up putting it down a little different than I had laid out, but in the end it still's fine. So with this butterfly, I had the frame up and down, and the oval one is vertical, and I put the square one, rectangular one, on the horizontal. And it did help cover up a lot of that black splotches. And I did wind up putting the white thread in behind the butterflies. In hindsight, I kind of wish I would have put them on the top and the black in behind, but lesson learned. I still like how it turned out. I just think the hardware would have showed up better on camera if I had put the white thread on the top of the butterfly body rather than underneath. But in person, you really can see the hardware. So here I'm just using dimensional tape to put down the top frame because I want it to have a bit of a lift over the bottom frame that is glued straight down onto the page. So once all that is done and I have my white thread in behind, I place down my frame onto my page and it's down. And I'm putting the black thread now onto both. Sorry, I'm a little out of frame here, but I do move up in a second or two. this was a fun challenge. It was just fun to play. So I did use 3-in-1 or Fabri-Tac to glue down my hardware. I was too lazy to pull out my glue gun for that. So here I'm just looking for a page, and I pick out this white page that is half a page. I lost some footage here, so you will see the end result in a minute. I do add some splatters again. The white splatters showed up much better this time, as well as some blue distress ink splatters. I'm sorry, I'm opening my drawer here. It's tumbled glass. So to me that did kind of add a finishing touch. Now it is a bit busy, but I still really liked how it turned out. And I used my gold gel pen to go around my sentiment. Keep some room in your heart for the unimaginable. So that was my project today for the prompt. Photo frame and steampunk butterfly. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.